Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, Scooby Doo. How are you? I'm just getting. Thanks for getting the Daily Heart Me. I am just sending this out to everybody. Just started the live. I'm a little late as usual. I tell you, I try to do too many things, and I need to cut that out because that's always getting me into trouble. I'm always running late to things. That's why I work from home. Thank you for getting the Daily Harmony. Hello, Coach. How are you? Coach Chantel, how are you? Just sharing out the live. I'm holding my phone right now because I'm sharing out the live. If you guys can tap and share out the live so we can get started, that would be great. I'm doing something new, so I'll be looking up on my computer screen from time to time because I'm trying to go live as well on my YouTube I'll just say YT channel. I started that channel a long time ago, about 3 to 4 years ago, actually. And it was my first topic on YT was about being an empath. And I figured, I haven't worked in YT for such a long time. Why not try to revamp it while I am here on TikTok at the same time and try to see how this uh, dual live streaming on different platforms goes. Thank you for getting that. Oh, thank you for the popular. So appreciate you. So let's see how it goes. So if I look up, it's because I'm just looking to see if there's anybody that pops into the YT platform and just to acknowledge them. If I look down, it's because I'm using my binder here. This is the binder that I had prepared for myself in regards to the empath masterclass. And this is the actual same digital download that I created for anyone that wants to get that. That's attached on my bio here on TikTok. So what I usually like to do, I just started this topic as of yesterday. And welcome in, everybody. Let me see who's in the room. Let me take this charger off because it's kind of like, sorry about that, guys. It's making my phone on my stand crooked. Coach Chantel and Karina, welcome in. Thank you for being here. My name, let me just start off with Coach Chantel knows me, but some other people might not know me, and I'll have to get used to repeating, just like a little intro. My name is Dr. Trish. I am a live TikTok host. Hello, Britt. How are you? Welcome in. I talk about all health topics during my lives. I talk about central nervous system regulation, nutrition, physical activity, spiritual fitness, diabetes, the sitting disease, diabetes management and prevention. I'm not sure. Thank you so much, Britt. I'm not sure what other topics I've spoken about, but those are the ones that I remember off the top of my head. Thank you for getting that daily heart me. Thank you so much. Yes, and so I put these little boards up here. Grab your daily heart, right? Engage, excuse me. These letterings are so small, but I know that by heart. I'm not sure why I said encourage. But yes, encourage each other as well in the chat. Tap the screen and share out the live. I so appreciate you guys doing all of these things because that's what's going to help me grow here on TikTok. And I appreciate that, because I want to be truthful, right? I'm an empath. Thank you so much, Darlene. Welcome in for getting your daily heart me. I'm an empath, and this is why I'm talking about being an empath. I never talk on my TikTok lives on anything that I don't have professional or personal experience in. Okay, I have to have a lot of professional experience to talk about a topic in my lives. And of course, right, we're passionate people. So I always talk about things that I have a personal experience with. And you can know that, flat out in regards to me. So just for the people coming in, I'm going to look up at my screen from time to time because I have my Mac desktop right here in front of me on my desk, my office desk, just because I'm dual streaming and I'm trying it out. I'm dual streaming on TikTok right now as well as YT, and I'm trying to see how it goes and try to revamp my YT, being that the topic that I had started talking about first and foremost there is being an empath. And if you want to check that out, it's on my link in my bio as well on on my TikTok bio page. All right, let's get started. Good morning. Well, it's good afternoon here in New York City. It's already 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So good morning, good afternoon, good early afternoon to everybody. Thank you for being here. So we're going to be talking about, I started this topic yesterday about what is an empath. And yesterday I covered what are the different 20 types of empaths. Yes, tap, 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 tap. Thank you guys. Appreciate your help and your support. And then today, what I also covered, hello, Kim Lo, oh, Kim Love, what is it? Kim Love Jones. Thank you so much for being here. Is this your other account? Because I'm used to your other name, right? Coach Rhonda, right? I mean, I think am I confusing coaches in our agency, or am I just nervous? Tell me. I think maybe a little bit of both. So welcome in, welcome in. This is my account. Okay, Kim Love Jones. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming and supporting. Okay, so yesterday I started this topic of what is an empath. Okay, and I'm also live streaming at the same time on YT. So from time to time, I'm going to look up there just to see if people are coming in. I'm revamping my YT page because it actually is this topic that I started with 4 years ago. My name is Dr. Trish. I talk about all health topics in my lives, and I never talk about anything that I don't have personal or professional experience with, okay? So know that this topic I have professional personal experience in because I'm an empath. I'm an empath. Yes, good. There is a Kim Jones and Kim James. Yeah, there's a lot of people in our agency. I'm still getting to know everyone. And I was so confused with that last segment that we had in our agency call earlier, live earlier. But I was so wrapped up in trying to figure out what was going on that I was running late to my own live. So, yes. Can you guys hear me okay? You guys, I'm assuming you guys can hear me because I didn't hear the laughter. Oh, there we go. All right, good. Hello, YT. How are you? Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate you being here. My name is Dr. Trish. I haven't been active on this account for quite some time, and I so appreciate you passing by and visiting my page again. Thank you for that. All right, so this is a binder that I have created for the Empath Masterclass that I've been doing pretty much on YT about 3 to 4 years ago is when I started that. And I put together a whole bunch of documents that I've gotten from trainings that I've participated in and learning about being an empath, and just research and books, and things that I created, because I love teaching. Oh, thank you so. Oh, hello, country. Hello, country grown. I'm so glad you are here. I was thinking of you in the past couple of days since I met you on the other live on, I believe it was Sunday, right? So I'm so glad you are here. So I'm going to start with a sacred calling poem, okay? And then I end with another poem, which is called Empath, the Power of Feeling Deeply. And I end with that poem, but I start with another poem, okay? Just to kind of like open it up, and have all this sacred stuff, information, education, kind of take place. And I hope you learn a lot on what I have planned for today. Today, what I'm going to be talking about is the different levels of being an empath. We're all going to do the assessment together. Okay, I'm going to walk you through it. All right, so just be ready, maybe with a pen and paper while I read the poem. Get a pen and paper so you can write down your category, because the category equals to the amount of a number, and all of those numbers you're going to have to add in order to assess if you are an empath, which you probably are. That's why you're here. But what level of an empath you are. So we're going to start with the assessment right after I do the introduction poem. Okay, so get a pen and paper. Thank you, Coach Chantel. Appreciate you. Thank you. Let me just check. Hey, girl. Okay, everybody's just saying hello. All right, I just want to make sure I don't miss any comments. Hello, White Tea. Welcome in. I'm talking about the empath today, and we're going to do an assessment together. So you might want to get a piece of paper and a pen so you can follow along. But I'm going to start today with reading a poem about being an empath. All right. We ready, guys? We ready? Give me some hearts in the chat if you guys are ready for the poem, and give me different colored hearts if you're ready with your pen and paper for the assessment, and if you're ready for the poem. Give me different colored hearts. I know that's a lot to do, right? I'm like asking a lot right now. All right, so I'm gonna start with the poem. Get a piece of paper and a pen so you can do the assessment that we're gonna do right after the poem. All right? Okay. Empath, a sacred calling. I am an empath, created with a divine gift. I feel deeply because I was made to see beyond the surface. I hear what is unspoken. I sense what is hidden. I am a vessel of light, a guardian of truth. Thank you for that. A guide for the weary. I do not fear my sensitivity. It is a sacred tool. I do not carry burdens that are not mine. I trust in divine hands. I release pain and suffering to God, knowing He's the great healer, not me. I walk with wisdom, not just emotion. I love with discernment, not just sacrifice. I set boundaries as an act of love, knowing that my energy is precious. I stand in my purpose, called to bring peace where there is pain, understanding where there is confusion, and love where there is fear. I am a light in a weary world. I am guided. I am protected. I am empowered. I embrace my calling with joy, for I was born for this. And that is the poem entitled Empath, a Sacred Calling. All right, are we ready for our assessment? Give me some hearts in the chat if we're ready with a piece of paper and a pen for our assessment. Want to make sure everybody's ready with a piece of paper and a pen. Are you ready to take our empath assessment? So we have 4 people currently in the room. Darlene Henderson, Kim Love Jones, Coach Chantel, and Country Grown. Thank you for being here. Are we ready? Thank you for the roses. Get a piece of paper and a pen. Are we ready for our assessment? Yes, Country Grown says. You can put yeses or you can put hearts. Let me know if you're ready for the assessment, because I don't want anybody to be set back. YT, we're doing an assessment. Thank you for being here. Please get a piece of paper and a pen and let me know in the chat if you're ready for the assessment. This assessment is going to help you understand what level of an empath you are. Are we ready, guys? Can I have some hearts or some yeses in the chat? I got 1 yes from Country Grown. Are we ready, guys? Let me get some hearts, because I don't want to get set back, or I don't want you to get set back. Give me some hearts in the chat if you're ready for the assessment. Are we ready, guys? Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to start, okay? Whitey, are you ready for the assessment? Just have a piece of paper and a pen. Okay, thank you. All right, let's go. We ready, guys? All right, I'm going to start. So I'm going to read 15 different statements. And for each statement, you're either going to write 0 for never, 1 for rarely, 2 for sometimes, 3 for often, 4 for always. And I'll repeat them after each statement. I'll repeat them after each statement. Okay? So I'm going to read 15 statements. Okay? After each statement, you're going to rate the statement as to how true it is for you. And the different ratings are the following: 0 for never, 1 for rarely, 2 for sometimes, 3 for often, and 4 for always. Okay? So are we ready? We have one person in the room. People came in, they laughed, but they supported me. They had to go. That's all right. If we have some more people coming in, they're just going to have to catch up. Hello, Dr. Roderick. Welcome in. Welcome in. Come on in. Dr. Taylor, welcome in. Come on in. All right, so let's get started. I can easily sense when someone is upset, even if they don't say anything. I'll say it again. I can easily sense when someone is upset, even if they don't say anything. Is that a 0 never for you? 1 rarely? 2 sometimes? 3 often? Or 4 always? I can easily sense when someone is upset, even if they don't say anything. For me, that's a 4, always. So I'm going to write down mine. I've done this assessment already, but you never know. Maybe I became more empathic. I'm not sure. Because spiritual gifts for an empath, they become stronger. The more you heal as an empath, and the more you get to know who you are, the giftings right within you already living in you, they open up, and it's like you're more in tune with it. So over time, spiritual gifts, as you heal and as you work on getting to know who you are as an empath, they open up even more for you. Okay? So that was the first one. Are we ready for the next one? Give me a yes in the chat if we're ready for the next one, the next statement. No, I do not want to co-host. Okay, great. Number 2, I feel emotionally drained after being in a large crowd or an intense social situation. I'm going to put this a little lower. Hello, YT. Welcome in. My name is Dr. Trish. We are going through a empath assessment to see what type of empath you are. Are you a moderate empath? Are you a higher level empath, meaning more intense empath? So we're doing an assessment right now, and you can join in. I'm up to the second statement. I'm going to reread the second statement. Hello, woman of God. How are you? We're doing an assessment, woman of God. Since we just started, I'm sure Country Grown wouldn't mind if I reread the first statement, and then I'll repeat the second statement, okay? Grab a piece of paper and a pen. I'm going through 15 different statements. You're going to rate yourself. You're going to, thank you for those roses. I appreciate you. You're going to rate yourself as to does it rarely happen for you, never happen for you, sometimes happen to you, often, or always. You're going to rate yourself according to the statement. The first statement we already did. I'm gonna read it again since you just came in one of God podcasts. It's gonna help you understand where you fall within the empath spectrum, knowing that if you're kind of like if you're, a moderate empath, if you're more of a higher level empath, it's going to put you kind of like in a bracket. And it's good to know because you get to know more about yourself. This doesn't, it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away, guys. Your empathic abilities, right? And what you feel and what you go through and what you experience, it's here to stay. All right. Okay. All right. So the first statement again. The first statement again. I love the intro. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad you like the intro message. Okay. I'm going to go through the first statement again. I can easily sense when someone is upset, even if they don't say anything. Does that never happen to you? Put a 0. Does that rarely happen to you? Put a 1. Does that sometimes happen to you? Put a 2. Does that often happen to you? Put a 3. Does that always happen to you? Put a 4. Okay? Woman of God, let me know if you got that while I set my new goal. Oh, TikTok is giving me a new flash goal. Wow, it's giving me a new flash goal. Okay. It's never given me flash goals before. Now it does. All right, so we have a flash goal of heart pops for gifters. So different gifters. So if you're gonna give one, just give one. Okay, good. Thank you. That's it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. So, woman of God, did you write down your number? Let me know if you wrote down your number. YT. I'm also streaming live on YT. I'm doing a lot today. YT, are you guys good? Okay. All right. You're waiting for the second statement. Okay. Woman of God, you're good with the first statement? I'm going to move on to the second one. Thank you for your patience, country. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so the first one, I'll reread it. I can easily sense when someone is upset, even if they don't say anything. Are you never 0? Are you rarely 1? Are you sometimes 2? Are you often 3? Or are you always 4? That type of empath. For me, that's a 4, but you have to rate yourself, right? Rate yourself. Okay. Second statement. I feel emotionally drained after being in a large crowd or an intense social situation. 0, never. 1, rarely. 2, sometimes. 3, often. 4, always. Welcome in, Doris Anthony. Welcome in. We're doing an empath assessment. We're doing an empath assessment right now. Okay. Does everybody in the room have the second statement? Woman of God podcast had to drop for some reason. She might be at work. So country grown. Yeah, we're good. Country grown. Are you okay with the second one? Put a yes so I can move on to the third statement. I'm here, yes. So you're good with the second statement. You wrote down your number. I'll reread it again because I didn't do mine. I feel emotionally drained after being in a large crowd or an intense social situation. For me, I'm going to say 3. I'm going to be a little flexible. I'm going to say 3. Okay. Third statement. People often tell me their problems or open up to me without prompting. People often tell me their problems or open up to me without prompting. Is that 0, never? 1, rarely, 2, sometimes, 3, often, 4, always. So for me, that's recently started happening. So there's a shift that recently started happening. And I'll tell a funny story, but let me reread it again. People often tell me their problems or open up to me without prompting. Is it 0, never, 1, rarely, 2, sometimes, 3, often, or 4, always? My YT people, welcome in. Thank you for being here. I'm live streaming on my TikTok platform, so that's why I'm looking down. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. We're going through an assessment. It's an empath assessment to see what level of an empath are you. And so we're going through some statements and we're rating ourselves with some numbers that we're going to have to calculate and add at the end to see what number we end up with. Okay, so, okay, you're good with the third statement. Okay, so for me, that's just started happening. So I think I'm going to put 2. I think I'm going to put a 2. And funny story, I recently went to the beach with a girlfriend of mine. It was last week, Wednesday. And I know her through my running group. I used to be a runner. I don't run anymore, but she still runs. And the last time I saw her was for my 50th birthday in April of this year. So she's very professional. You know, we have a lot of things in common, and she's always very loving and shows up for me. And so I wanted to spend some one-on-one time with her. So we went to the beach. I guess I was really tired and I had not been to the beach at all this whole summer. And so she's got some stuff going on, which I'm not going to disclose, obviously. But she was just talking about everything that was going on in her life nonstop, like nonstop. And I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, like this gift just opened up for me because this was not the case before. But, you know, because I was too busy doing that to others, right? I was too busy doing that same thing she was doing to others. And she wasn't doing it in a harmful way, but, but yeah, she was doing it. And it got to a point where we're on the beach and, we were on these lounge chairs and I was so sleepy because I was so relaxed at the beach. And she just kept talking and talking and talking and talking. And at some point, I think she got it because I fell asleep on her talking so much. So it happened recently with someone else, and I can't remember off the top of my head. So that's why I rated myself a 2 for that statement because that just started for me. That's why I say doing this assessment from time to time as you heal yourself, because an empath always has things to heal from because we're empathic people and we can't say no to people. We can, but we don't say no to people. We we take up too many energies. We become very fatigued. We're usually the person in our immediate families that take on a lot of, the shame, the guilt, the trauma, right? So we have to heal, right? And that's just some of the things. There's many more things. But we have to heal and we have to get to know who we are as an empath, right? So as the more we heal and the more we work ourselves out as an empath, and we understand ourselves, the more different types of gifts just kind of start manifesting and start opening up. So this one for me just started opening up. People often tell me their problems or open up to me without prompting. That was statement number 3. Okay, they are usually people who are chosen. Oh, interesting. Well, with this friend that I was talking to, well, she was talking to me, but we drove for a while. We went out to Jersey, so it was a long drive because I gave her the option of which beaches, and she never had went to the Jersey Shore. I haven't been to the Jersey Shore all summer. I haven't really even been anywhere the whole summer, honestly, guys. I have the perimenopause going on, and when I'm outside, I get even hotter than it is outside. So it's just not enjoyable sometimes for me to be outdoors. But anyways, long story short, it was a long drive, and she just had a lot of stuff to talk about, and that was just the first time that happened to me. Thank you, Just Mojo. Welcome in. Thank you for getting the Daily Heart Me. Anyways, funny story. So that spiritual gifting just opened up for me. Okay. Isn't that interesting? Hello, everyone. Mojo says, welcome in, Just Mojo. Glad you are here. We're going through an assessment. We're going through an assessment. Get a piece of paper and a pen. Whatever statements you missed, I'll go back to them. Okay. I'm up to statement number 4. I'm up to statement number 4. So if you're going to stick around, right, and you want to get the other statements so you can total up all your numbers, just let me know at the end which one you're missing if you're still here, and I'll give them to you. So statement number 4. Statement number 4. I have difficulty watching violent or distressing news or movies. I have difficulty watching violent or distressing news or movies. Are you a 0? Never. Are you a 1? Rarely. Are you a 2? Sometimes. Thank you for the heart puff. Are you a 3? Often. Or are you a 4? Always. I'll repeat. I'll repeat. You're also not an empath. You're get woke. Get woke. I know who I am. You're muted. All right. Let's continue. I'm going to repeat it. I have difficulty watching violent or distressing news or movies. I have difficulty watching violent or distressing news or movies. 0, never. 1, rarely. 2, sometimes. 3, often. Or 4, always. Put hearts in the chat if we're ready for statement number 5. Put hearts in the chat if you're ready for statement number 5. Oh, he left. Good. Good. You're ready. All right. I'm doing. Ugh, so annoying. I'm doing my live on being an empath, and some wacko just came in and said, "And you're not an empath," or something like that. I muted him and he left. I muted him and he left. All right. Okay, we're ready. Good. All right. Number 5. Oh, I didn't write myself. I have difficulty watching violent or distressing news or movies. I would say often. I would say often for that. Okay. Number 5. I feel deeply moved by music, art, or natural beauty. I feel deeply moved by music, art, or natural beauty. And I know like music is a very general thing, right? I mean, there's so many different genres of music, right? And some but so on average, try to rate yourself on average, right? I am very deeply moved by Christian music for sure. Okay. I'm moved by music that I enjoy to listen to. I always put music on when I am studying. I'm focusing on something. I'm grading my students, assignments because it helps me focus. So I could say for myself, I'm pretty moved by music. Okay, good. All right. So I feel deeply moved by music, art, or natural beauty. And that's on average because there's different types of arts too, right? And natural beauty like nature, right? All right. Zero never, one rarely, two sometimes, three often, four always. Okay. I would say for me, I would say I'll put a three. I am, but I'm being modest. I'm being modest. You could be modest too if you want. All right, are we ready for the statement number 6? Put hearts in the chat if you're ready for statement number 6. Put hearts in the chat if you're ready for statements number 6. And let me change. Oh no, we're still working on the flash goal, guys. Just one person, okay? I don't want you to put too many, and if it's not going to count. All right, we're ready. Okay. Put hearts in the chat if we're ready for the next statement. We're up to number 6. Hello, Sage. How are you? Come on in. Come and join us. Thank you for the Daily Heart Me. We're going through an assessment, an empath assessment. This assessment is going to help you understand if you are what type of level empath you are. What type of level empath you are. Hello, gorgeous. How are you? So we're up to statement 6. Statement 6. Okay. Get a pen and paper if you're going to stick around. And whatever statements you miss, I can go back to at the end. We're up to statement number 6. Get a pen and paper. Almost to 10K. Yay. Yay. Thank you for that. I have to get better at paying attention to so many things. My focus is you guys always. My focus is what I'm teaching. That's my focus. My focus, is like the comments and seeing who's in the room. So your focus as a TikTok live host has to be on so many things. So I appreciate the support. And yes, please do these things, guys, to help me grow. Grab the daily heart, engage, tap the screen, and share the live. And I put that there not just for a reminder for people coming in my room, but for myself. All right. So, question number 6, not question, statement number 6. Are we ready? I sometimes take on others' emotions or physical symptoms as if they were my own. I sometimes take on others' emotions or physical symptoms as if they were my own. Is that a 0 never? Is that a 1 rarely? Is that a 2 sometimes? Is that a 3 often? Or is that a 4 always for you? Thank you for liking the live. I'll repeat. I sometimes take on others' emotions or physical symptoms as if they were my own. Is that a 0 never, a 1 rarely, a 2 sometimes, a 3 often, or 4 always? I sometimes take on others' emotions or physical symptoms as if they were my own. I do take other people's emotions, but not their physical symptoms. Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ, for that. God never gives you things you cannot handle. No. But I do often pick up other people's emotions. So I think I'm gonna put. So it's or, right? So it's one or the other. Okay. I sometimes take on others' emotions or physical symptoms as if they were my own. So I'm gonna put. So it's an or. So I'm gonna put often. I'm being modest again. I'm being modest. I'm gonna put often. Yep. Okay. All right. Are we ready for number 7? Put hearts in the chat if you're ready for number 7. Are we ready for number 7? Are we ready for number 7? Woman of God podcast had to leave, but she'll probably come back. I think she's at work. You do both? Oh, wow. So how do you know when, you know, I'm curious because I don't have this. I don't have this gift. How do you know when you're picking up other people's physical symptoms? Like you actually feel it in your body? How does that come out to play for you? And I'm asking because I'm curious because I don't have that. I don't have that. If if you can put it in the chat, how does that? Oh, so yes, you feel it in your body. You feel it in your body. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Mm. How do you how do you return back to yourself? How do you return back to yourself? Like, do you actually nurse, the physical symptom? Do you do anything? Do you pray, for it, over it? What do you do? Pray it off and ground. Okay. Does it work? I'm I'm curious just because it doesn't happen for me. Does that work? I hope it does work because that's prayer. Prayer is powerful. Yes. Okay. Good. 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 I'm glad to hear that. All right. Good. All right. So we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're up to number 7. We're up to number 7. Ready? I find it hard to say no to people because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I find it hard to say no to people because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm going, so 0 never, 1 rarely, 2 sometimes, 3 often, 4 always. I'm going to say I find it hard to say no to people because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I've gotten better with this. So I'm going to say right now, from me, I I find it hard to say no to people because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm gonna put a 2. I'm gonna put a 2. I would have been a higher number in the past, but I've learned how to say no. I learned how to say no and not feel bad about it. I don't want to hurt people's feelings, and sometimes I just explain that. I explain why I'm saying no, and usually the person, understands, right? The person usually understands. So I do explain myself. I don't just say no and I walk away. Like, never. I would never do that. But I used to have a hard time saying no to people because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. But I've learned the hard way that I have to say no. I have to say no because I'm older. There's so much I can do. There's so much I can put on my plate to do aside from what I have to do. And I know my limits. I know my limits, but I had to learn that the hard way. Yeah. All right. So we ready for number 8? You ready for number 8? Okay. I feel a deep connection to animals and nature. I feel a deep connection to animals and nature. I would say 4 always to that. Well, to animals and nature, often, always. It's hard to decipher between 3 and 4. So again, I feel a deep connection to animals and nature. 0 never, 1 rarely, 2 sometimes, 3 often, 4 always. I'm gonna put, I think I'm gonna put 4 for this. I'll put 4. All right, we ready for the next one? Number 9. Number 9. I notice subtle changes in the energy of a room or group of people. I notice subtle changes in the energy of a room or group of people. I notice subtle changes in the energy of a room or group of people. 0 never, 1 rarely, 2 sometimes, 3 often, 4 always. I notice subtle changes in the energy of a room or group of people. I'm going to put 2 sometimes for me. We're up to number 10. We got 5 more to go. You ready for the next one? Number 10. Number 10. Are we ready? Are we ready for number 10? I need time alone to recharge after social interactions. I need time alone to recharge after social interactions. 0 never, 1 rarely, 2 sometimes, 3 often, 4 always. I need time alone to recharge after social interactions. 0 never, 1 rarely, 2 sometimes, 3 often, 4 always. I'm going to put 3 for me, often. I think I've learned over time how to shield myself. You know, and so it depends. Sometimes it's different. Sometimes it's different. So that's why I'm going to put sometimes. Yeah. And it also depends on the energy of that social interaction. So it's really very dependent. All right, number 10. That was number 10. I need time alone to recharge after social interactions. 0 never, 1 rarely, 2 sometimes, 3 often, 4 always. Ready for the next one? Number 11. I feel compelled. I feel compelled to help others, often at the expense of my own well-being. I feel compelled to help others, even at the expense of my own well-being. 0 never, 1 rarely, 2 sometimes, 3 often, 4 always. I feel compelled to help others, even at the expense of my own well-being. I think for me, that just depends on who it is. Often, if it's my daughter, my granddaughter, for sure. For like someone, very, very close to my life, yes. So I feel compelled to help others, even at the expense of my own well-being. I'm going to put often. I think I've gotten better. At that. I've gotten better at that. Okay, how we doing? Are we up to par? Are we up to par? Because we're going into number 12. Drop a yes or a no in the chat. We're up to number 12. Number 12. If you're here, would love, if you haven't as of yet, please get your daily heart me. Please tap the screen, share out the live. All of that helps me grow in this room. Please engage. I would so appreciate it. Are we ready for number 12? Number 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, number 12. Be right back. Okay. Let me know when you come back which numbers you missed. Hopefully you're numbering all of these. I'm not gonna number all of these. Okay, we're up to number 12. Okay. I experience a strong gut feeling about people or situations that usually turns out to be accurate. I experience a strong gut feeling about people or situations that usually turns out to be accurate. I'll say it one more time. I experience a strong gut feeling about people or situations that usually turns out to be accurate. Are we a 0? Never. Are we a 1? Rarely. Are we a 2? Sometimes. Are we a 3? Often. Or are we a 4? Always? I experience a strong gut feeling about people or situations that usually turns out to be accurate. I experience a strong gut feeling about people or situations that usually turns out to be accurate. I'm going to put 3. I'm going to put 3 from me because that's often. Number 13. We're up to number 13. We got 3 to go, including 13. I avoid crowded places because they feel overwhelming or chaotic. I avoid crowded places because they feel overwhelming or chaotic. I avoid crowded places because they feel overwhelming or chaotic. 0, never. 1, rarely. 2, sometimes. 3, often. 4, always. I'm going to put 4 for me. I live in New York. I do not like going to Penn Station. I do not like going to Times Square. I do not go and watch. We're number 13. Number 13. I do not go watch the Christmas lighting in Rockefeller Center during Christmas. I'll reread number 13. I avoid crowded places because they feel overwhelming or chaotic. 0, never. 1, rarely. 2, sometimes. 3, often. 4, always. I avoid crowded places because they feel overwhelming or chaotic. Country girl, let me know if you missed one. Let me know what number. I just read number 13. And I was just saying that I live in New York and I don't go to Times Square. I don't go to Penn Station. I don't go to Rockefeller Center. I go in the city for Christmas to see like the lights and everything. Once a year, usually Christmas Day or around Christmas time. And it's just like, brace yourself, brace yourself. All right. Number 14. Number 14. I am highly sensitive to criticism on sorry. I am highly sensitive to criticism or harsh words. I am highly sensitive to criticism or harsh words. 0, never. 1, rarely. 2, sometimes. 3, often. 4, always. I am highly sensitive to criticism or harsh words. I'm going to say I am highly sensitive to criticism or harsh words. 0, never. 1, rarely. 2, sometimes. 3, often. 4, always. I think I'm going to put 4 for this, guys. Yeah. Because either it has me react or it has me, defend myself, or I get really sad that someone thinks something of me that's not true, and they may have made criticized me or said something or used harsh words. Yeah, I'm gonna put a 4 for that. Yeah. What was 12? Okay. 12 was I experienced a strong gut feeling about people or situations that usually turns out to be accurate. I experience a strong gut feeling about people or situations that usually turns out to be accurate. I'll read it again. I experience a strong gut feeling about people or situations that usually turns out to be accurate. 0, never. 1, rarely. 2, sometimes. 3, often. 4, always. That was number 12. You're welcome. Turn on community flag comment filtering. Well, hide comments that are similar to those that viewers have previously flagged in live streams. I don't know what that is. Okay. I'm going to take a screenshot of this so I can ask my agency what that is. Sorry, guys. All right, let's keep going. Okay. All right, last one, number 15. Last one. Okay, we ready? I feel an inexplainable, sorry, I said that wrong. I feel an unexplainable connection to strangers or people I've just met. I feel an unexplainable connection to strangers or people I've just met. I'll say it again. I feel an unexplainable connection to strangers or people I've just met. I would say yes for me, for sure. 0 never, 1 rarely, 2 sometimes, 3 often, 4 always. Yeah, this happens to me. And I have a joke about it. I have a joke about this. Maybe it's not a joke. I don't know. When this happens with meals, it has something to do with the eyes for me. Like I'm able to see another empath through their eyes. I don't know if that happens to you. Tell me, what do you think? Country grown, does that happen to you? Because it happens to me. Yes. And then the wife or the girlfriend is mad at me because they think something. And it's not that. It's not that. That's not it. Like it's right. Oh, I didn't know which sound to choose. That story of my life, and I hate it because that's not what I'm trying. That's not my intentions. I'm not trying to connect with your spouse or your boyfriend in that way. It's something I can't control. It's just that eye to eye, like my eyes and their eyes is just like locked. And it's like me, the empath, letting him know, oh, I see you. You're an empath too. Oh, I'm an empath too. And it's just like, but we can't say that to each other. We don't say that to each other, right? We don't say that to each other because I know I'm an empath, but maybe the other person doesn't know that they're an empath. And they'll be like, what are you talking about, lady? Are you nuts? You've met me before? You met me before? What do you mean? What do you mean you've met me before? Reincarnation. Oh, that's what it is? Reincarnation? Maybe. I'm like, where did she meet me? Yeah, I don't know. But that's happened to me. And when it's a male and they're with their, spouse or their girlfriend, they get so bent out of shape. Like, I could tell, like, they might try to like not make it noticeable, but I could tell because I'm an empath. I could tell that they get upset, that it makes them feel uncomfortable, and I'm not doing it on purpose. Hey, hi Ray, how are you? Welcome in. Thank you so much for the roses. All right, so for me, that's a 4. So let's add them up. Let's add them up. Okay, I'm going to use my other device and I am going to calculate. Did you get country grown? Did you get all of them? Let me know. Are you missing any? Oh, thank you, Ray. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We're going through an empath assessment. We're going through an empath assessment. We just went through all of the statements. So you have to rate yourself. So you get to see what level of an empath you are. I'm also looking up on my screen here on my Mac desktop because I'm streaming at the same time on my YT. I'm trying to revamp my YT channel, guys, because I have not done anything in it in so long. And it made me think of doing it for this topic because it is this very topic that I started talking about when I first started my YT. And if you want to check that out, you guys can get that LINK on my bio. All right. You got a 63? Okay. Let me count. Hold on. So you got all of them, right? You got all 15 of them? Where is my calculator? Okay. Let's see. All right. We're ready? All fours except number 3. Oh, wow. Really? It's 59. Okay. All right. So I got a 47. I think mine went down. And I think it's just because I've been working on stuff. 7, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20, 24, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 39, 40, 43. Yep, 47. Okay. All right. So you got a 59. Okay. So between, oh shoot, we're in the same. We're in the same country. Girl, we're in the same. All right. So between 46 and 60, 46 and 60, very high empathic traits. You are highly empathic and may need to manage emotional boundaries to avoid overwhelm. I'll read it again. 46 to 60, very high empathic traits. You are highly empathic and may need to manage emotional boundaries to avoid overwhelm. Yeah. This tool is not a diagnostic measure, but can provide insight into someone's level of empathy and sensitivity. If they score high, it's a sign they might benefit from strategies to manage their emotions and energy. All right, so there you go. There you go. So I'm going to go in through my backup account because I'm going to start the next segment of the live. I'm going to go in through my backup account and see if we can get more people in here because I'm going to go through the next segment of my live. And I'm going to talk about some things that we can do. Some things that we can do. Some things that we can do in order to preserve our energy. I'm looking through my binder here. Some exercises, some approaches, self-care, self-love strategies and approaches for the empath. Yesterday, Country Grown, I know you weren't here, we covered how could an empath hurt themselves, and I went over the 20 different types of empaths. That's what we covered yesterday, and I did the poem at the beginning and the poem at the end. And it's the same poem that you heard if you were in the room earlier. Okay. So I'm gonna have some assignment. I have a little bit of a homework for you in order to start putting this into practice for yourself. Okay. So make sure you have more paper and pen. What was that? All right. Okay. So I'm gonna go into my backup account. I'm going to share out the live and tap from my backup account so we can get maybe some more people in here. All right, get yourself ready. That's me. That's my backup account. So Country Grown, you may want to follow me there because that account has a lot of information when it comes to being an empath and healing. If you've had any experience with narcissistic partners or narcissistic based individuals in your life, so you may want to follow that account as well. You may want to follow that account as well. Okay. All right, I'm just sharing out the live, guys. Come on in. We just went over an empath assessment. There were 20 statements that I went over and I covered with the individuals that were in the room. They assessed themselves as to if they were, rarely ever experiencing that, sometimes, always. And it rated them as to what kind of an empath were they. Um, Most of the individuals rated as a highly empathic person with a high score above 46. And now we're going to get into the second segment of the live, and I'm just sharing it out to people so we can have more of a presence of a community in here. Thank you for getting the Daily Heart. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. How are you? Welcome in. Welcome in, Aria. How are you? We just finished doing an assessment for an empath, just to see if you fell under a low empathic traits, moderate empathic traits, strong empathic traits, or very high empathic traits. So that was the first segment of the live today. Now we're going to go over some empath strategies and approaches that we can do for ourselves to practice self-care, self-love as an empath. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a homework. You may have not heard of this approach in the past. First of all, let me just ask, Aria, do you consider yourself to be an empath? Let me know in the chat. Put it in the chat. Do you know what the word empath is? Do you want me to define it for you? I'm not sure if you're aware what it is. People that may also use the word highly sensitive. So you might be an empath, or you might consider yourself an empath, or you might consider yourself a highly sensitive person. Let me know which one, if you identify with either of those, because that's what the live is all about. So I can tailor the live and the instruction and the education today for the rest of the time I'll be on live, which is probably going to be, I don't know, maybe another, I kind of came on about 12:20 or so. I've been live about an hour and 15 minutes. So I have another 45 minutes to go. All right. Let me know if you consider yourself to be an empath or a highly sensitive person. I am just sharing out the live through my backup account right now. You can do the same just to help me grow, just to support me. That would be great if you could share out the live, like the live, do all the things right here, get more people into the community so we can continue with the second segment of today's live, educational live on what is it to be an empath, what are the different levels of empaths, what can we do to protect our energy, our aura, So we are not drained, feel completely fatigued, and are more ourselves, because when we're drained and we're fatigued, we are not ourselves, we're not our best selves, right? So that's what we want to avoid. Okay, so now we're going to go into our next segment, and we're going to talk about triggers as an empath. Triggers. So I'm gonna try to, and I have this little sheet here that's part of my workbook that you guys can get at my bio if you're ever interested. Okay, there's just like this little worksheet here. Okay, um, so this is just things that I use when I do these types of teachings, especially on my topic. I usually have like either a presentation I use, and I use TikTok Live Studio presentations either above me or below me. For this particular topic, I wanted to kind of create some sort of different ambiance, and I'm using my binder on all things empaths that I have. But a lot of the things that are in my binder are also in digital format in my bio if you wanted to go and pick that up for yourself. Okay. It's just good to have a reference that you can go to when you may need some self-care as an empath. You may need some self-love as an empath, just to kind of go back and reference. All right, so I'm going to give you a common scenario. Okay, a common scenario on triggers. Okay, so there's two people. Okay, there's two individuals, and there's some interaction trigger words that are taking place. So these two individuals are interacting with each other, but there are some trigger words that are taking place. And so because there's some trigger words taking place in this interaction between these two individuals, okay, there's energy or actions, okay, between two people. I like to call it, energy, but energy yields into some sort of action taking place, okay? Person A blames person B. Person A now associates these feelings and experiences as person B. So person A blames person B. Person A now associates these feelings that person A is experiencing, and um, and associates it associates these feelings and experiences as person B. The source of the trigger isn't seen, right? Because it's like energy. It's invisible. The same trigger will keep repeating with different people or different times. Okay. And so, as empaths, these things can happen. What do we need to do? Okay. What do we need to do? So, I'll explain. So, that's a common scenario, but let me explain it. There is something that happens between an interaction between two people, myself and someone else, and I get triggered. Okay. Based on some sort of something, some feeling, some emotion that I hold on to as stored information in my body. Okay. And I'm going to now blame person B or the person I'm interacting for making me feel that way. Right. But it's really an emotion that I need to deal with. Right. But if I don't deal with it, okay, it's going to keep repeating the same pattern with different individuals. Okay. So unraveling the trigger is what needs to be done in order to diffuse it. Okay. We need to unravel that trigger so we can diffuse it. So in our homework, okay, or our work that we're doing with ourselves, have it be You're keeping these notes maybe in your phone because your phone is always with you, or you can have a little notebook where you're writing things, however you want to store this information. You want to use questions. You want to ask yourself questions that changes the reaction into a new format of processing it. This slows down the sympathetic nervous system reaction. What is a nervous system reaction? Sympathetic nervous system reaction. What is that? That comes from our central nervous system. That's why when I first started doing my lives here on TikTok, the very first thing I spoke about was nervous system regulation and getting everybody to understand their central nervous system, that I will eventually go back into and tie it back, because I always try to connect all of my health topics. So how do we change the reactions? Okay. And how do we slow down the sympathetic nervous system reaction? So we have our nervous system, right? And so we have our nervous system that's made up of different nervous systems. I know that's weird, but that's how it is. I didn't make it up. So we have a nervous system that's made up of different nervous systems. Okay. So we have the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord. And then outside of the spinal cord are our nerves throughout that goes throughout our body, everywhere, to the tips of our fingers and the tips of our toes. That's the peripheral nervous system. In the peripheral nervous system, we have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. That's why I said the nervous system is a system of systems. The nervous system is a system of systems. Okay. We have the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord. We have the nerves that go outside the spinal cord throughout the rest of our body, including our fingertips and our tips of our toes. And that's called the peripheral nervous system. Under the peripheral nervous system, we have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Now, the sympathetic nervous system is the system where our reactions to things take place. Where our reactions to things take place. I'm sure you've heard of the fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode. The fight and flight is the ones that are most commonly known, but there's also freeze and fawn. Okay, so fight is like you're gonna fight through this. Okay, flight is you're gonna run from it. Okay, fawn is basically you're gonna submit to it, and freeze is you're like frozen. You don't know what to do. Okay, so that's all reactions under the sympathetic nervous system. Now, the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is also part of our peripheral nervous system, which helps us bring everything into balance. That's the homeostasis in our body. Our body is always wanting to bring things back into balance and bring it back into homeostasis. So that is the parasympathetic nervous system. So when I say unravel the trigger to diffuse it, when I say use questions to change the reaction into a new format of processing, your body processing information, this will slow down the sympathetic nervous system reaction. That's what we want to do. So you want to acknowledge to yourself when these triggers happen. You want to say to yourself, I just got triggered. So it's kind of like you being a box outside of yourself. Okay? Be a box outside of be not a box. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Be outside of your box. And in your box, it's you. Be on the outside looking in. Be on the outside looking in. So you want to say to yourself, I just got triggered. Then you want to say, who or what triggered you? You want to write all of this down. Who or what triggered you? What triggered you? Who triggered you? Who or what triggered you? Why? Why did it trigger me? What happened? What happened? You want to write it all this out as much as you can. What am I feeling or what did I feel? What am I feeling or what did I feel? Where do I feel it? Where do I feel it? What thoughts about myself, the situation, or the other person are showing up during the trigger? I'll say that again. What thoughts about myself, the situation, or the other person are showing up during this trigger? What thoughts about myself, the situation, or the other person are showing up during this trigger? Is this a reaction of something in the past? Where else have I felt like this before? Very important question. Very important question. Super important. Is this, you want to ask yourself, is this a reaction of something in the past? Where else have I felt this before? And last but not least, this is a reaction of something in the past. Where else have I had these similar thoughts? So you need to unravel this trigger in order to diffuse it. How do you unravel it? Through asking yourself those questions. Okay? Let me know in the chat if this makes sense. Please let me know in the chat if this makes sense. Aria, you're my only person here, along with my backup account and whomever is looking from the outside. Let me know if this makes sense. Okay? So again, we get triggered by something or someone. Someone says something, something happens, we get triggered. Okay? We need to unravel this trigger in order to diffuse it. Okay? Hello, YT. How are you? I'm also live streaming on YT. I am talking about empaths, and we originally did in the first segment of the live, because I've been live for an hour and a half almost. We went through an assessment, and we went through statements where we rated ourselves per statements, and we basically added all of the numbers up. Right here, my numbers. We came up with a total, so we can basically see where we fall within the empath spectrum. So we get to know, are we a moderate, empath? Are we are highly, and more intense type of empath? So that's the first thing that we did in the live, and now we are talking about how to unravel triggers that happen, so we can diffuse them and we can work with our body, meaning the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, and the parasympathetic nervous system. So these triggers are being diffused and not taking place anymore. That's what we're talking about. Okay? So, in order to unravel triggers, we need to diffuse it. So, we're using questions. We're asking ourselves questions after we have a reaction. And we're not just going to have that reaction and just like be frozen in it, right? We're going to process it. We're going to process it. How do we process it? We ask ourselves these questions. When we process, we slow down the sympathetic nervous system reaction. So we need to process things. Okay. So when we process, we want to, based on the trigger, we want to ask ourselves, we want to get like a little notebook or write it in our notes in our phone. Because you never know when a trigger is going to happen. You could be out and about, right? You want to be prepared to process it. You want to ask yourself, well, first of all, you want to just acknowledge that you were triggered. You got to acknowledge that. Okay. I got triggered. And that's a big first step. We got to acknowledge that we were triggered. Okay. Then we want to just for and to put it in perspective, who or what triggered me? Who or what triggered me? If you're an empath and you have a higher being living in you, which is you have the answers to these questions. You just have to dig for it. But it's in you. It lives in you. Okay. YT, thank you for sticking around. Hopefully you learned something or you're learning something. Okay. I'm live streaming on 2 platforms today, guys. I'm on both on TikTok and thank you for getting the Daily Heart Me. I'm both on TikTok and YT. Thank you for getting the Daily Heart Me. All things Chels, all things Chels. Am I saying it right? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Good afternoon. I'm good. I'm good. I've been live for an hour and 31 minutes so far. We got about maybe 30 more minutes to go. And I'm going over triggers as an empath. Chels. Okay. Yes, Chels. So all things Chels. Okay, good. So I'm unraveling, right? Are you in our agency, All Things Chels? For some reason, I think your little logo, your picture, looks familiar. Okay, maybe we're just following each other. I'm not sure. I just was just curious. I was just curious. Okay, so I'm gonna go over this again, and then right, I'm gonna see if there's anybody that has questions that can answer, and then I'm gonna wrap it up with our closing empath poem, and then I'll tell you about some resources you guys can get if you're interested. So we want to acknowledge. I just got triggered. So that's the first big step. Okay. Because we have to put ourselves in a place where we can be the common denominator. We can say, I'm the common denominator in these things that keep happening to me. Why do I keep feeling these things? Why do I keep having these emotions? We want to put ourselves as the common denominator, right? Because if we see patterns, thank you so much for sharing the live. If we see patterns in our life, it's there, it's repeating, it's happening over and over again. So we want to have to say to ourselves, I just got triggered. Okay, that's the first and biggest step. I just got triggered. Then you want to ask yourself, who or what triggered me? Who or what triggered me? Then you want to say, why? Why am I triggered? Why? Then you want to say, what happened? When I say you want to ask yourself. You want to ask yourself, what happened? What happened? You know? And just sit with it for a while because it might not come right away. But what happened? Ask yourself, what happened? What happened? What am I feeling? Or what did I feel? Where do I feel it? Where do I feel it? Where do I feel it? Do I feel it in my neck? Because sometimes I get choked up if I'm upset, and it feels like I have like something like holding like I get choked up, like I feel it. You know? Do I feel hurt in my soul, in my chest? Do I feel sad? Do I feel it in my mood? Do I feel it in my feelings, in my emotions? Do I feel annoyed? Do I feel mad? Where am I feeling it? What am I feeling and where am I feeling? What thoughts about myself, the situation, or the other person are showing up during the trigger? Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for helping me with my flash goal. I believe that's a flash goal that TikTok gave me because I did not set that. Appreciate you. Now TikTok is starting to give me flash goals. And I was just talking about this in my agency live earlier. So here it is, because I would always have to do my own goal, right? Set it. And as of today's live, TikTok started setting my own flash goals. So it's doing it by itself, I think, right now. Anyways, back to this. What thoughts about myself, the situation, or the other person are showing up during this trigger? You want to ask yourself that. Then you want to say, this is a reaction of something in the past. Where else have I felt like this before? This is a reaction of something in the past. Where else have I had these similar thoughts? These are the questions and the things you want to do in order to process this trigger, okay? And when you do it on a regular basis, it's going to help slow down your sympathetic nervous system reactions. And earlier I had said that the nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system reactions are your fight, your flight, your freeze, your fawn. We don't want to react in those ways. We don't want to react in those ways. We don't want to just fight, right? Because we can get very assertive and aggressive. Because I know Patricia can, I know Dr. Trish can be very assertive and aggressive. And actually, I can be very harsh. And I don't like that about me because I'm not a harsh, really, genuinely, me, I'm not a harsh person. But my sympathetic nervous system shows up in that way when it wants to fight, right? Same? Okay. I'm glad I'm not alone. Thank you for saying that. Because I struggled with that. I struggled with that for so long. I'm not harsh. Why is this always showing up? Because I'm not a harsh person. That's the good thing about being an empath. You know who you are, but you may not be displaying that. But you know who you are, but you may not be displaying that. And a lot of people be getting confused. Also, a lot of people don't understand you. People don't understand you. All right? They get this misconception about you. And that might be something we can control. We can. I don't think we can, right? Some people might not ever be able to understand being an empath. They will be like, that's baloney, whatever, right? But you know, right? Hey sis, how are you? Are you Aria saying hey sis to all things gels? I'm glad you guys are saying hello to each other. Okay. So what was I saying? So if you go through this process, right, it's going to slow down the sympathetic nervous system reaction. And so we're not doing the fight. We're not doing the flight. We're not running away. We're not fawning. We're not submitting. And we are not freezing, meaning not knowing what to do. Sometimes we have to, think of it. If we're think of it in different situations. Hello, Whitey, how are you? I'm going over triggers as an empath and how to diffuse them so we can process things and so it can help our sympathetic nervous system reactions. That's what I'm covering today. So within this processing, okay, what we can do is basically ask ourselves these questions, okay? And as we do this on a regular basis, we might want to keep a journal, might want to keep notes in our phone, because we never know when these triggers are going to happen. And as soon as you realize, oh my gosh, I just got triggered, you want to go through this, okay? You want to go through these questions. You want to go through this process, okay? And so the more we do this, the more we diffuse them, these triggers, and the more it's going to slow down our sympathetic nervous system reactions. Okay? Because sometimes I go and I ask, my fiance is an empath as well. And, he has a certain reaction to things. And I'm just like, why did you have to react that way? You don't have to react that way. And he immediately he's like, I know, I'm still learning. We're all still learning. We're all still learning. Right? So we can slow down the sympathetic nervous system reactions. We don't want to fight. We don't want to flight. We don't want to fawn. We don't want to freeze. Right? How about people that freeze when they need to speak up? Do you ever freeze when you need to speak up for yourself? Right? A lot of people freeze when they should be speaking up. That is a sympathetic nervous system reaction. Okay? So we should be able to voice ourselves, to speak up. That is not who we are meant to be, how we are meant to be. We can speak up in love and in kindness, right? We can be assertive. We don't have to run away from things. We don't have to fight through things and be harsh. We don't have to submit to things. Okay? We don't. All right? But we have to work on all of these things. Is interested in contacting the creator. I'm not sure what that was. I just saw something fly through my screen. Okay, I saw a comment. Sometimes, but I'm getting better with speaking up. Good, good, good. Yes, we have to speak up for ourselves, because that's one thing that empaths struggle with, is not speaking up for themselves. So I'm glad you're working on that. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, so where are we at? 1 hour and 42 minutes. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Let me know. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? All right. We're going to continue working on this tomorrow, guys, because I have more about this trigger discovery pattern, this not pattern, this trigger discovery process. Okay, I have more about it, but I can't give it all to you because it's too much. So tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh gosh, tomorrow I may have to come live earlier tomorrow because I have plans with someone. Be on the lookout for my post later on, guys. It's just because it's summer and I'm on my vacation break. I'm a professor at a university, and I am trying to kind of get together with friends and do things and enjoy a little bit of my summer before it's all gone. So I did make a date to go out with a girlfriend of mine, and I might, if that goes through, I might very well not be available. If that's the case, I will post to my bio and to my stories, and I'll make a what is that? A calendar invite, um, and put it in there as to what time I'll go live. I'm assuming if my plans carry on the way that I planned it for tomorrow with my girlfriend, I'm gonna go live pretty early. So be on the lookout for like an 8 a.m. or so, 8 a.m. live or so. Okay, all right. And I'm sorry for like that fluctuation, but it's the end of the summer. I live in New York, and I'm just trying to enjoy a little bit of the vacation before I go back to work. And I go back to work right after Labor Day. I'm a professor at a university, and my life schedule is going to change as well at the time. Let me know if you guys have any questions as to what I've been covering. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna finish with the poem to close it out. Thank you for getting the Daily Heart Me. Hello, Sharina. How are you? How are you? If you guys wanted to, thank you, Sharina. Thank you for the populars. If you guys wanted to get the digital download of the workbook that I am using in order to do my teachings on my lives, thank you for that. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Sharina. I appreciate you. If you guys wanted to get the digital download of this, I did create it um, as a digital download. Thank goodness for Canva. I love Canva. Hello, YT. How are you? I'm also live streaming on my TikTok. That's why I'm looking down. And so we're talking about what is an empath today. We covered um, what are the different, I guess, levels of being an empath. Are you a low empathic? Are you a low empathic on? Are you low on your empathic traits? Are you moderate on your empathic traits? Are you strong on your empathic traits, or are you very high on your empathic traits? So we went through the assessment. There's 15 statements. People that were in here went through the statements with me and they rated themselves and they came out with a number. I did mine's. My number was a 47. That fell under the 46 to 60, which ended up being the very high empathic traded empath. Then we talked about um, combating triggers. We talked about combating triggers and how do we diffuse triggers through processing them. So in that way, thank you for the popular. So in that way, we can also slow down the sympathetic nervous system reactions, which is the fight, flight, freeze, and fawn reactions. We talked about all of that today. I gave you guys homework as to how to go through these processings. And now, if you are interested in a digital download of my teachings on being an empath and everything related, you can go to my bio and go to my LINK tree there, and you have a digital download in there. You can also go to my YT channel, which I started about 4 years ago on the topic of being an empath. And you have also several videos there about being an empath, but also a video about being a Christian empath. And you can find that LINK through my bio as well. With all of that said, let's close it out with our closing empath poem titled The Power of Feeling Deeply. I am an empath. I feel deeply, not as a weakness, but as a gift. I see beyond words, beyond masks, beyond what is spoken. I stand in my power, knowing that sensitivity is strength and awareness is wisdom. I do not carry what is not mine. I release what no longer serves me. I honor my emotions, but I am not ruled by them. I am a force for healing. I transform pain into understanding, chaos into clarity, and fear into love. I set boundaries with courage and compassion. I choose to shine even when the world feels heavy. I was born to feel, to uplift, to guide. I embrace my calling. I embrace my light. I am an empath. And that is our closing poem. Empath, the power of feeling deeply. We at 1:49, and I'll stay on for an extra 10 minutes to see if anybody have any questions. To say thank you to my audience, both on YT. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I'm sorry if I'm looking down because I'm looking at my cell phone and I'm looking at my Mac desktop, where I am streaming live on YT, but I'm also streaming live on TT because there's not enough time of the day, guys, to work all social media platforms. So I'm trying to see how I can work it out for it to work out. Today, we covered what is an empath, our series of what is an empath. I defined what is an empath yesterday. I can go ahead and quickly define it again. An empath refers to someone with exceptionally high empathy. They deeply feel and understand others' emotions. Scientifically, there is no distinct diagnostic category of an empath, but the term generally describes individuals at the upper end of the empathy spectrum. That's why, in speaking about the spectrum, we started with an assessment with 15 statements where you had to rate yourself as either never feeling what the statement stated, rarely feeling it, sometimes feeling it, often feeling it, or always feeling it. And then, based on the 15 responses, we added up the numbers and we rated ourselves as to where we fall within the spectrum. So we can know if we are a low empathic trait. If we're, as far as an empath, are we low on the empathic traits? Are we moderate on the empathic traits? Are we strong on the empathic traits? Or are we very high on the empathic traits? I fell under very high. I got a 47. So anywhere between a 46 and a 60 was high. And then what we ended up doing was we went to processing triggers and how to process triggers. And I recommended for individuals to, when something happens and you are triggered, to start journaling. Where are my notes? I have this whole binder here. So much stuff here. Here we go. To start journaling triggers. And you want to acknowledge that you got triggered. First and foremost, you want to acknowledge that you're triggered, that you got triggered. Then you want to ask who or what triggered me. Then you want to ask why. Why was I triggered? Then you want to ask yourself, what happened? What happened? You want to ask yourself, what are you feeling? What am I feeling here? I just got triggered. I'm acknowledging that I got triggered. Who, what triggered me? Why did this trigger me? What happened? What happened? What am I feeling? What is it that I'm feeling? Where do I feel it? Where do I feel it? What thoughts about myself, the situation, or the other person are showing up during this trigger? Then you want to acknowledge, is this a reaction of something in the past? And you want to ask yourself, where else have I felt it like this before? Where else have I felt like this before? And then again, with the reaction of something in the past, you want to ask yourself, where else I had these similar thoughts? Where else have I had these similar thoughts? You want to process that. Every single time you get triggered, you want to process it. Through processing triggers, we diffuse them. And it also helps our sympathetic nervous system not jump to reactions such as fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Okay. And so that's what we covered today. What we covered yesterday, we covered the 20 different types of empaths. And we also covered, what did we cover yesterday? What did we cover yesterday? We covered the 20 different types of empaths. Yeah. We covered the 20 different types of empaths. And we covered the 20 different types of empaths. And we covered something else that I cannot remember right now. What did we cover? Covered something else yesterday, guys. I have so many things here. Oh, we covered how could an empath hurt themselves? How could an empath hurt themselves? And those were 10 of them. 10 of them. And so if you missed, some of it, you can go ahead and get the workbook, the digital workbook. It's in my bio. I think what I'm going to do also when I have a little bit of time, I'm going to put up the individual handouts based on the days that people may have missed. Because you can also just go through which one you may need for yourself. So maybe how an empath can hurt themselves, right? But you don't know all of the different types of empaths there are out there. Maybe you want to get that. I'm not sure. So I'm gonna create them into individual digital documents instead of the whole workbook that you can get for yourself as well. And I'll work on that as soon as I can. Another way to get these downloads for free, well, not for free, but for as part of your subscription. The subscriptions currently right now are at $269, right, per month. If you sign up with the automatic renewal subscription, you will get the digital downloads, and I can send them to you to your email. That's another way. Yes, and take overall in any of your TikTok live hosts that you guys, that myself, you and myself, we visit and we get subscriptions from. You want to make sure that you know that they are going up. And so as of September 15th, the subscriptions are going to be going up. And so you want to get them now from your favorite TikTok live hosts because they're going to go up. They're going to be more money. So you want to lock them in now rather than waiting for September 15th when they go up. That's something new that's happening. And it's been around, people talking about it for 2 days now. And that is it. All right. So we are at 1:58, 1 hour and 58 minutes. I'm going to end the live in 2 minutes because I have to run as usual. I have to run as usual. I have to go and meet my fiance for a gathering he is having with his coworkers. I have to walk my dog, Charlie, and situate him and change my clothes. And that is about it, guys. I so appreciate you guys being here with me. Thank you to my YT audience for being here with me. I'm about to end that live right now. God bless everybody. I will be back tomorrow in the morning, 8 a.m. I believe I'm going to be doing. I'm not sure I will post about it. If you missed this live, my YT audience and subscribers, I will download it, and I will download the one on TikTok because that's the camera I'm using and I'm often looking at, and I will upload it onto my YT for you guys to see at a later time. And for my TikTok audience, please let me know how I can support you. with your empath giftings. Please be back tomorrow. I believe I will be on tomorrow in the morning rather than 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I do have plans um, that's going to conflict with my 12 p.m. regular schedule to go live. So I'll probably go early in the morning, maybe about 8 a.m. or so, and Eastern Standard Time. And I look forward to seeing you here for the next one. Appreciate you guys. Hello, Faithful Queen. Thank you for being here. I've been going live for 2 hours so far. I'm going to end the stream at on my YT. Goodbye, guys. I've been double